The strategy that I will be discussing today is Collaborative Strategic Reading, or CSR for short. If you haven't heard of this strategy, it is a combination of many comprehension strategies that are used within small groups. The strategy is mostly used from grade 3 to about grade 8. CSR is a comprehension strategy, so its main focus is to help students understand content that is being read. It has heavy emphasis on collaboration. The class is broken up into smaller groups, and the students are working in collaboration with each other. Reciprocal teaching and modeling are commonly used as directive tools. The teacher will model the task based on each of the 4 parts that occur before, during, and after reading, that the student has to carry out within their smaller group. The 4 parts mentioned before create a strategic guideline for the group to follow. The first part occurs before reading and is called preview. It includes noticing different parts of the article, such as headings, topics, pictures, and keywords, which helps them make predictions about what the article is about, recalling what they know about the topic, or to assist students in brainstorming techniques. The second part is during reading, and it is called click and clunk. For this role, the students get to be detectives. Things that they don't understand are referred to as clunks. This could be a word or a concept. They are encouraged to use fix-up strategies, such as breaking down the word or looking at the context, etc., to help the word or concept click. This happens every time they reach a confusing point within the text. The third part also takes place during reading, and it is referred to as get the gist. For get the gist, students summarize the main idea of the reading. What is this reading trying to teach me? And finally, the last part is the wrap-up. This is done after reading. This is part of the discussion that focuses on what the student learned from the text, provides more time for reflection, and generates unanswered or clarifying questions for their group, classmates, or their teacher. You might be wondering, what makes this strategy so good? Well, there are many reasons. It encourages collaboration, as it allows students to share their own perspectives, but at the same time, it makes sure that everyone is on the same page about the meaning of the text in general. Through the click and clunk technique, it generates problem-solving skills required to comprehend the text. It can be used for more complex readings as it allows for the text to be broken up a bit more. For the weaker readers, the strategy provides them with tools to plan out how they are able to comprehend text and can be used across different subjects. Another positive aspect of the strategy is that it can be easily integrated into the classroom, so it does not take much time to implement. The research of this strategy has been seen to be replicable across different age groups, and it is fairly cost-effective as it does not require any additional resources except training for teachers. Who would really benefit from a strategy like this? The answer is everyone. But the research does show that some do benefit more than most, such as Sally. Sally is in grade 6. She seems to have difficulties with decoding and morphological awareness. There are multiple times when Sally uses words in different contexts. She mixes up the word or their suffixes. This would help her as she is able to get assistance from her peers to make sure she is reading the text correctly. And think aloud sessions within the small groups would help her clarify what she does not understand. How would I incorporate this into classrooms? I would integrate it into my lesson plan at least twice a week. Research shows that is the optimal amount of time to implement this strategy. I would use it for either social studies or English classes where there is a lot of text involved. Ideally, there would be 4 students per group. They would each be delegated a role for the week, which would be leader, who would essentially lead the discussion, making sure it stays on track. There would be the clunk expert, who would make sure that any confusion throughout the reading is getting solved. We then have the gist pro, who would be the one who would lead the gist portion of the technique. And finally, we have the question generator, who would lead the wrap-up, making sure everyone is on the same page and record any unanswered questions for the teacher. For a more direct instruction approach, I would have larger groups of about 8 or so that there would be 2 people for each role. And ideally, there would be a strong reader paired with a weaker reader. so that there are more opportunities for think aloud sessions among themselves. What does the research show? All the research that I found was in favor of CSR. The CSR groups outperformed their comparison group for younger students, so grade 3 and grade 4, and the same findings were also apparent for middle school students, so grade 6 and grade 7. What about high school students? Well, there has yet to be much research on the efficacy of CSR in older students. Within special education classrooms, there was an even higher effect size than that of general education classrooms, proving this to be an effective strategy for reading.